Hello and welcome to Aico TV episode 33. My name is Matt Powell and I'm joined in this episode by
Emily Duke.
We've got an action-packed episode coming up, so let's see what's coming up. First up, we're going to take a look at our new products, the Ei660i and the Ei660RF.
Next, we'll take a trip to the Isle of Wight for Aico a day at sea.
We're also going to take a look at our job shadowing program.
And lastly, our FAQ, which is where to install an alarm on a peaked slope.
So first up in this episode, I was joined recently by Marston, our product development executive in the studio, and he's going to run us through our new products, the Ei660i and the Ei660RF. Sam's going to run us through all the benefits, so let's take a look. Hello, I'm Matt Powell, I'm a marketing executive, and I'm joined today by Marston, our product development executive, and today we're going to walk you through the new products, the Ei660i and the Ei660RF. So Sam, tell us all about the new products.
The Ei660i and Ei660RF bring to the 600 series a battery-powered, proven heat optical multi-sensor.
Okay, great. So what's the difference between the two products? Because obviously you've got the Ei660i and then the Ei660RF. What's the difference there?
So the Ei660i is a standalone version, whereas the Ei660RF is the radio frequency version, which enables wireless communication between other wireless Aico products.
Okay, so just to put interlinking, that makes sense. So obviously you've got two sensors in this alarm now. Is that going to affect the battery life or?
Not at all. It's still the same 10-year lifespan with 5-year guarantee.
Okay, so these new products come with AudioLink Plus. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So what AudioLink Plus is, it's the newer version of the AudioLink protocol, which is a local way of achieving data extraction. AudioLink Plus builds on that and is now quicker and quieter and is free to use with our free to download app available on both Android and iOS.
Perfect, so just quicker and more convenient, sounds good. So what's the advantages of just using, for instance, a single optical unit to this multi-sensor?
So what the Ei660 multi-sensor offers is it's a full total fire protection. So whereas you'd fit, say, a heat alarm in the kitchen, you'd say fit an optical alarm in the hallway where there's a low risk of things like contaminations and false alarms. Yeah. You'd fit the Ei660 with its multi-sensor anywhere outside the kitchen. So because it's got a faster response time and is more resistant to nuisance alarmings, anywhere where you're concerned about, say, contaminants, such as then things like bedrooms, then we'd best recommend fitting the multi-sensor on account of its accuracy.
So full fire protection, basically. That sounds great. So obviously this is a part of the 600 series. How does this complement, the rest of the 600 series? So
as mentioned again, with the addition of a multi-sensor, it just completes the full range, whereas previously to get a multi-sensor you had to go to the mains powered 3000 series. Now with the addition of the multi-sensor to the 600 series, you have a wider array of choices for what to fit where.
So multi-sensor technology in a battery unit, do you want to just run us through how that would work?
Absolutely. So it's the same sensor you'd find in the Ei3024, and how it works is by continually monitoring both the temperature sensor and the optical sensor at the same time. So in a non-fire situation, it's actually less sensitive than your standard optical. The advantage being is it can use the thermal sensor to detect a rise in heat, and when it detects a rise in heat, as there is no fire without heat, it then becomes more sensitive than your standard optical sensor. What that means is it's harder to result in a nuisance alarm than it is, say, your standard optical, but because it reads the thermal sensor, it then becomes more sensitive and thus more responsive in a genuine fire situation.
That all sounds great. I know the other units in the 600 series, or at least one of them, comes with dust compensation feature. So does this come with that same feature, and do you want to walk us through what that does?
So with it being a multi-sensor, its dust compensation is actually more reliable, as it can use the data taken from the actual heat sensor in order to determine that a rise in contaminants over a period of time actually are just contaminants building up in the chamber, and it adjusts its sensitivity for that in order to make sure the alarm is still as responsive as the day it's out the box, despite the amount of dust building up in the alarm itself, as opposed to, say, the standard optical that just does it over a rate of time compared to the amount of obscuration that it sees.
Sounds good. So basically, just the bottom line, less nuisance alarms.
Exactly that.
Sounds perfect. Okay, so I believe we're looking at about October for these products to start hitting the shelves. So thank you for joining us today, Sam. It's been a pleasure. And if you want to know more, keep an eye on our website. Thanks for joining us. So a big thank you to Sam for joining us in the studio. Keep an eye on our website for all new products. Next up, we're going to take a look at our CO legislation advert.
Next up, our Regional Specification Managers, Barlow and Steve Bulley, head to the Isle of Wight College to carry out some CPD training sessions.
Good morning, you're watching Aico TV. This is Aico A Day at Sea. I'm Steve Bulley, Regional Specification Manager for Aico for the South West. Joined today by my colleague and friend, Barlow.
You are indeed, you are indeed.
Quite new in the job, Ollie, aren't you? So tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I joined Aico in December last year and just been getting to know the products, the clients and the people. And so today we're going across now to the Isle of Wight to see Isle of Wight College and their students and to train up some of their second and third years on the expert installer scheme. So yeah, really looking forward to that today.
So training is obviously a big part of what we do at Aico, and with young people it's a big focus for us. So me personally, I do a lot of training in the Southwest with different organisations, people like Exeter City College, the Focus Training Group, Plymouth University. Is it something in your sort of time in the job, Ollie, have you kind of recognised it as a focus, and are you talking to a lot of people about it within your region?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I've actually had colleges approach me about it as well, which is really good to see that they sort of know about it and they want their students to learn about it. I think education's a really important factor, especially in the industry, to train them up early, so when they go into the world of work, they know what they're going into, and I think it's very important.
Yeah, and a lot of these training events that we've been doing so far this year with colleges have been on the back of the Meet the Lecturer event, which I believe this one is on the back of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the lecturer actually attended the event, and then I contacted him afterwards, and he said he's really up for getting his students up to date on the British standards and everything else that surrounds the expert installer scheme. So yeah, fantastic.
So they're always good fun. The college groups, you've got a mixed crowd, you've got a couple of people having a laugh and a joke, so it'll be a good introduction to that today.
It will.
The ferry's now moving. It's a beautiful day on the south coast, so got your sea legs on, Ollie?
Yeah, just about to cross the Solent, so I guess we'll catch you guys on the other side.
Fantastic, thanks Ollie. So Ollie, beautiful day today. It's lovely crossing some real sort of famous sites on the skyline. So we've got the Spinnaker Tower.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the Spinnaker Tower over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was going to be called the Millennium Tower when it was first sort of planned, but it was a bit late, and they changed it to the Spinnaker Tower. So that's a place over in Gunwharf Quays, and then along from that you've got the Square Tower and the Round Tower, which were sort of battle fortifications back in the day. And then we've got beautiful Southsea Common just over here, and then further along, we haven't reached it yet, we've got the D-Day Museum along as well. So lots going on in Portsmouth, and a beautiful day out here today as well.
So Ollie spent a lot of your student days down here, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I went to Portsmouth University, so always lived around here, so quite familiar with all these parts. But it looks particularly good today.
A beautiful stretch of sea. Thank you, Ollie. So I'd like to introduce Derek McGrath and Paul Thomas. Would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Derek McGrath. I'm the section leader here at the Isle of Wight College. I've been here for 22 years. My background is fully qualified electrician. Went into engineering and became a fellow of the IET. So I've been sort of involved in both the installation side of things and also the design side of things.
Both sides of the fence.
Both sides of the fence. So it's really good to have the lads come in here today, because there is a real gap from the IET wiring regulations over the last about 15-20 years, where less information is really out there regarding fire alarm systems, particularly BS 5839's part 1 to 6. The gents were kind enough to come in here today to do 6, which was really informative for the students. in terms of a real practical application of the systems that are available, bringing in the regulations and putting them in a very straightforward way, but also including some of the design aspects of it as well. So knowing where to site the installation of the various types of systems, so it's really beneficial to the people out here, and appreciate it.
Fantastic, thanks Derek. Would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
My name's Paul Thomas. I'm a technician and part-time lecturer for level 1 and level 2 students. My background is mainly consumer electronics, TVs, radios, that sort of thing. I moved into IT and gradually moved around to the electrical department way back in about 2000, I believe, and been here ever since. Obviously I have a qualification for technical certificates, and for me it's been an eye-opener as to the regulations, the new regulations that are coming in. So yeah, I'm very, very interested in that, and of course it would be useful to us here. We'll get some demo items and start actually showing the students the equipment.
Definitely, you would recommend this for employers.
Yes.
To come in employers events where employers can come in and they really benefit from this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we find that a lot of, especially the social housing providers throughout the UK, a lot of them actually put this on their spec that the guys coming in have to be trained on the scheme. So for some of these guys, if they go on to work for some of the social housing providers on the island, then it'd be great for them to say they've already sort of taken part in that, which is really important. And yeah, just for them to be able to see what
CPD certificate as well.
They get their CPD certificate as well at the end of it. So yeah, it's an hour's CPD that they've done as well. So yeah, it's really important. Yeah. So no, it's been good today. And yeah, we'll get you those working boards so you can sort of show the students and obviously incorporate that into their studies.
Brilliant.
So yeah, no, it'll be good.
Yeah, thanks guys. It was a really, really good session. Really good interaction. The students were credit to yourselves. So yeah, thanks very much for having us in today.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Thanks a lot, James.
Cheers. Hi, Steve Bulley from Aico, Regional Specification Manager for the South West. So we're continuing with Aico A Day at Sea. We're on the Isle of Wight. It's a beautiful day. We've kindly been invited in by the college on the Isle of Wight. We're joined now by
Liam Perry.
Liam, nice to meet you, Liam. Liam's a student at the Isle of Wight College. So tell us a bit about yourself, Liam.
So I'm an electrical apprentice. I'm currently finishing up my level 3 and doing my NVQ at the same time. I currently work in maintenance for a number of properties as well as with an electrician, obviously. And yeah, I've used the product before, and it was the hybrid situation. There was already a system in place and we needed to expand on that because it was a change of circumstance usage. It started as being used by just general domestic, and then it's been moved to be used as a commercial home for individuals with learning disabilities. So it required more fire alarms, and the most effective option to do that was using the RF system to connect everything together, and that was what we did. And yeah, it was a very simple process and it all worked first time. So
fantastic.
Great product. Yeah,
really, really good. And obviously part of the training was around fire risk assessments, and the RF was used on the back of a risk assessment for that property. So that was fantastic. Did you enjoy the training today?
Yes, I
Liam,
did.
any feedback?
Yeah, it was very informative. Yeah, and it was very easy to understand and well presented. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for your time, Liam.
So that brings us to a close of today's programme, Aico Day at Sea. We've had a fantastic day, brilliant day, haven't we, Ollie? We've been out at the Isle of Wight College, met some really cracking guys and lecturers there, trained, I think it was over 30 apprentices in the end, wasn't there?
Yeah, probably in that room.
So really good turnout for the day. Sun's been shining. Ollie, obviously Isle of Wight, big party area really. How often are you over in? What kind of things are going on?
So obviously depending on what we've got booked in, but yeah, fairly often. As you say, it's a big part of the area. Got a lot of distributors over here that have to go and see. You've got housing associations with properties over here, so training their guys up as well. And obviously, making sure that the students that are going to be coming through and possibly working for those housing associations, so it's important to get them trained so they know what they're doing as soon as they go into those job roles, really. So it's very important to get over here and make sure they're up to date just as much as the guys on the mainland. So great day and perfect for everyone else.
Fantastic, thank you, Ollie. I've enjoyed myself.
So yeah, signing off. I'm Steve Bulley. You're
Ollie Barlow.
and Ollie's going to buy me an ice cream now. He's
I'm going to treat you to a 99 flake, I reckon.
So Aico TV. So that's tune out on the Isle of Wight.
See you later, guys.
And good night.
A big thank you to the Isle of Wight College for having us, and to Steve and Oliver for giving us a very unique segment.
We're all used to smart devices, but what about smart homes? Aico with HomeLink wants to make all housing smarter. And within these smart homes, we want to put your well-being first. But how does it work? And why would you want a smart connected home? By deploying a suite of sensors and alarms throughout a property, a variety of factors such as temperature, humidity, and carbon dioxide can be measured. Your fire, smoke, and carbon monoxide alarms will also be linked and monitored. This data is then funneled through powerful algorithms, delivering your home's health checks straight to the HomeLink Resident app. Insights like these will enable you to live a safer, healthier life, but also be more efficient and aware of potential knock-on effects. For example, you'll be notified if a particular room is at risk of mould, or perhaps if dust mite allergens are present. You'll also know if the indoor air quality is affecting your productivity, pre-existing health conditions, or if it's dangerously cold. And much, much more. Previously, you'd be in the dark. But with HomeLink, you'll discover these things early and be able to counter them before they even become an issue. It could be as simple as opening a window. The HomeLink Resident app puts you in control of the health and well-being of your home and family, so that you're empowered to take the first steps before needing your landlord to step in.
So recently we've started our job shadowing programme, and Tina Mystery, our Regional Specification Manager, and Lee Duffy, our Operations and Learning and Development Manager, joined us in the studio to discuss their experience.
Hello, my name's Tina Mystery, RSM for North London. I'm joined by
Lee Duffy, Operations Manager.
And we're just going to have a quick conversation about how our job shadowing has gone in marketing, but also how the job shadowing started officially.
Yeah.
How did the job shadowing sort of process start?
It started by, we had a conference where we asked everybody what did they want. So if they ran this business, if they were in charge of the company, then what would they want to see more of? And one of the outcomes from that was job shadowing. So they wanted to get to know, it was originally called a day in the life, so they wanted to know what each department does and spend a day in each department and understand how they work. And this was the job shadowing program was born from there.
And you chose to job shadow which team?
Marketing.
And what have you learnt from it? Because I did the same as well, didn't I? So
Yeah, I chose marketing, I think, because when I thought of all the departments, they were probably the furthest away from my role. So I wanted to get to know more about what they do, because I see them about, I talk to them all, but I don't really know what they do day to day. So that was probably the reason I chose it. And then in terms of what did I learn, loads, absolutely loads. I mean, I didn't realise the complexities that went into managing the events. I didn't understand how much literature there is. Yeah, how many different things you can send out to different companies and different RSMs, and how many people are involved in producing all that literature and the complexities of that. So that was brilliant as well. What about yourself?
I chose marketing because I think I've worked with marketing but never supported some of the content stuff in my previous role. But I've never truly understood the logistical process of how things are done. I think it was insightful because today I sat down with Holly, I've sat down with Olivia, and I've also sat down with Matt and Louise, and I've just realised how much is involved, especially with the website stuff, because you see the website and it's a great looking website, but you don't understand the WordPress behind it. And it made me understand the depth of what control we've got over updating the website on some sections of it, but also the search, natural organic search engine optimization and keywords to push us up on the search engine. And it was interesting just seeing what was coming back from Clicky with the research they've done. For me as an RSM, it makes me realise some of the keywords that I should be using on some of my social media posts. I sat down with Matt, it was interesting seeing how the posts between Twitter and LinkedIn were interconnected together. and just went to the installer community and how that installer community requires a lot of energy behind it, editing. You see the final product but never see the background behind it. So it was really interesting just spending the day, and then just now I've been creating a tenant and resident user card. So when we normally put in a request to marketing, can I have a tenant user card updated, you don't realise the complexity of what's required.
That was one thing I found as well. It's a really good point you make about the social media. I mean, I looked at the same stuff as you with the search engine optimization, and when we do create posts on LinkedIn, we now know what to use. Now, we didn't have that information before. One thing I found useful was we looked at the logistics of moving literature around the country, and now we're going to work with the marketing team to streamline that, because of my knowledge and experience of logistics of moving things. We can actually give something back, so it's not all about learning about the department. You can also help the department develop by sharing your knowledge with them. So I found that really useful.
I think that's been the nice thing about it, is I think you picked up things where you can support the team a lot more. I mean, we were just talking about the search engine optimization, where can RSMs using those words, and the conversation logistics, how do you take and get that message to RSMs? And we've talked a lot about it in terms of team building, about self-accountability between individuals to individuals, but team to team. So I know that, for example, when Alex requests some information, so I said, well, come not create a focus group. And he went, hold on, that would mean X, Y, and Z in terms of workload. So we just ask RSMs. And he went, we do that, but this is the process we have to go through. We send an email, la, 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 la. Now I realise we've gone through the team building work that we have, we've done the shadowing bits, and maybe it's about accountability from team member to team member. So I know when we're doing our little WhatsApp group in RSMs, you appreciate the logistics of hard work the team has to go through. And maybe we support RSM to asking more additional questions, like, please do make sure, has everyone fed back the input into the resident app feedback? Or Alex asked for that, has everyone done that? Because you understand how important that is.
I think accountability, we find it's one of the more challenging ones of our values to live by, but I think we are definitely getting there within our own teams, because we understand each other's role. So we know what our colleague in our same department should do, because it's our job. But accountability team to team is a lot more difficult, because you don't know what their day job is. You don't always fully understand. I didn't fully understand what marketing do, so to hold them accountable, I'm less likely to do it, because I don't want to say something that's completely wrong, because I don't understand their role. So now we have a better understanding of their role, it becomes easier to hold them accountable as well. So it will, I think, over time, doing this with the entire company and all of our colleagues will actually really help that team-to-team accountability.
I think it also makes change the way you work alongside the team, like you mentioned. It's changed the way you're going to support them with the logistic aspect and using the skills that you have within your team to help that team. I think that really does help. I think it's understanding why those 4-week deadlines for mobile units are in place now. When we're asked to give everything in for 2 weeks in advance of any COE event, because you understand Olivia's workload compared to Holly, and how the team is so small, but yet they do a vast amount, and they are the front end of appearance of what we're perceived at externally. But you can support the team a lot more, I think, exactly what you said. And that's what's come. I think it's really nice. I'd be really great. I don't know about you, but I'd love to do this again, but maybe with another team like the internal sales and finance.
It was actually the first thing I thought when I'd finished my day of job shadowing, but I went home and thought, I need to do that with every department. Everybody needs to do that with every department. And fingers crossed that's where we'll end up.
But yeah, it's been great successful.
Good
end to good outcome from the conference that we had.
Yeah, excellent. One of many.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
So a big thank you to Lee and Tina for joining us in the studio and discussing their job sharing experience. Keep an eye on future episodes for more of these.
For this month's FAQ, we're going to take a look at where to install an alarm on a peaked slope.
If the depth of the beam is greater than 10% of the ceiling height, it should be treated as a wall, or if the beam is less than 600 mm in depth, a detector should be installed on the underside of the beam. In other cases, detectors should not be installed closer to the beam than twice the depth of the beam, or 500 mm, whichever is less.
So a big thank you for joining us on episode 33 of Aico TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also on the following social media platforms, which are
Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok.
Perfect. We'll see you next month.